What's up YouTube? GV Trades here again for another day. Today's December 4th, and as you can see I took a loss again on my alpha accounts. So I'll just go over the trade right now. But basically I was targeting previous daily highs, and we didn't really have any significant support level at this point. Basically I just basically went off of this 1 hour gap that we inversed the day before, and I think my main mistake was that I was not patient enough for me to wait for a better setup, because I know from my previous wins during Asia sessions I would always have a 1 hour gap for me to be sitting on to, but this was an inverse. I always had basically a fair value gap, at least not an inverse one, and that would be basically my support. And as you can see, I didn't have it at all for this trade. I had the inverse, and I also rushed going into the trade right here. There really was no great conditions for me to enter off into, and this was way too early in the market. It was like 7 o'clock EST, so 1 hour before Asia open. But yeah, I took a trade off of this displacement candle here, 5-minute displacement candle, and we also had this 15-minute gap that had to be inversed. So yeah, as you can see, I was not patient enough, and it backfired. I was rushing through this, to be honest with you, and I could have just waited, but I entered off of this displacement candle, targeting previous daily high, so 27-point stop loss each, so 1 to 1. And now I've been risking 1,000 because this technically a quarter of my drawdown, which is part of my rules. So basically, before I took these 2 losses consecutively, I had a balance of 3.8 thousand. So basically, I pretty much just rounded it up to like 4,000. So that way I'll be risking $1,000 each trade, which is a quarter of my drawdown, which I've been doing since I started my trading journey. Because technically, if I had a 2,000 drawdown, I would risk 500. So I had a 4,000 drawdown 2 days ago. Basically 3.8, so I just rounded it up. That's why I've been risking $1,000 each trade. But yeah, that's my trade last night, and at this point I can only afford to lose 2 more trades before I blow the alpha accounts. And right now I need 3 consecutive $1,000 trades basically in order for me to request the payout, if I do end up getting a winning trade at least. Because I've never lost 4 in a row. I've only lost like 3 in a row because of the fact that I over leveraged before. But yeah, that's it for the alpha accounts. I mean, I might, if I don't see any gaps during Asia, I probably won't even trade until New York open, because that's the only thing that I noticed as to why I lost a bunch of trades. I mean, I lost like 2 trades in a row because I wasn't patient enough, and I just had to wait for that setup, and I didn't. So that's on me. I'm not gonna blame the markets for that. It was my choice to, press the button. But yeah, patience is definitely the key. So for the next session, I would have to wait for an hour gap, because majority of my winning trades during Asia and London, there's always been an hour gap for me to actually play upon on. But yeah, that's the alpha accounts, and I just decided to buy another 5 evals for Topstep this morning, and I took a dub actually around market open, 9:30. So I'll go over that trade. So as you can see, it took previous daily high, this one, and then we also took London highs from November 13th. So at this point, my only draw was London lows, So that's what I targeted. So market opened around 9:30. We displaced heavily to the downside. This was 9:30 candle, and I believe off of this, it was 1 to 1.5 hour trade. Since I was risking $1,000 to make 1.5, but this was basically my trade. I think I waited for the second candle to see if we're gonna reject higher, and then we did. That's why I entered right around here on this second candle or 931, targeting this little guy here, London lows. And I didn't really care that we have so many gaps that were holding us, but as you can see, the 5-minute close was so strong. Like this trade took about 4 minutes in total. So that was my win for the for the Topstep account. I bought like 5. So I need to win one more trade basically. So it's either gonna be tonight during Asia or London, or tomorrow NY again, since. But yeah, I mean at this point there's really no more drawn liquidity to the upside I can see. I mean we can either target the 10 o'clock data lows from yesterday right here, if people are still trading at this time. I really even nudged it. Yeah, that'll be my only draw for now, but obviously I'm not gonna trade right now. I'll wait for tomorrow open, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean if I'm gonna be trading Asia, I'm gonna make it a condition as to where I would have to wait for a 1 hour gap to form before I even consider entering a trade. So that's it. 2 trades, 1 loss, 1 win. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.